to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We can get a new flag up there.
It is. Welcome to the work session, everybody. Monday, December 2nd, 2024. I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. I will ask the Secretary Treasurer to start with the roll call, please.
Scott Horwitz.
I am here.
Warner here. Richard T. Marin, he's away.
Away.
Joe McLaughlin.
Here.
Present. And Matt Parsons.
Here.
See Matt over there. How you doing? All right. So let's get right to work after a bit of a holiday week, right? I have Cole Environmental, Pratik Dalal, 3020 Ludlow Lane, up first. How are you this morning?
Good. How are you?
Good. So you are battling a big erosion issue, as I've seen.
Can you sign in and give us your contact information, please?
Everybody state their name for the record.
Chris Cole Environmental.
Pratik Dalal.
Okay. So you're working hard on trying to resolve this erosion issue in that area. It's getting beat up pretty good.
Yes,
Right?
yeah, exactly. So we've come up with a revetment plan. If you see the photos, definitely getting erosion. There's evidence of exposed roots from the shrubs that we planted.
I've been down there a couple times looking at it, yeah. And I definitely think that you need to, expeditiously deal with this. That whole area is getting beat up. So you want to do 140 foot with returns on the north side using 2.5 to 3 ton armor stone, capstone, crushed native bait stone, backfill 16.5 cubic yards of clean sand, and you want to revegetate the landward side of the rock revetment with native plants such as Spartina patens, various other species to make a nice project,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
This is the property with the stones that are currently placed
Yeah,
there.
there are some stones there.
Were they permitted?
I don't believe so. Were they there when you purchased the property? Yeah. So, the previous owner had added to kind of space them out, and
I think the previous owner engaged in some self-help, and I went down there and met with the current owner, and looked at this property, and just advised that they need to get somebody that's got some expertise to get on this to combat what is occurring.
yeah. Now the homeowner went through a process with the Environment Division and has a nice buffer there, but it's now getting eroded from
Is there any covenants on that
there.
property between the house to the water, the high tide mark?
Yes,
I
there.
mean, this looks like something that maybe the Conservation Board might have approved, because they've been doing like an Adirondack shoreline where they systematically place large rocks, not so much in a revetment, but to break up some of the wave energy. So my question to you is, I would like to see you looking to see if there's any permits from our office, and what Marty or the Conservation Board has done on this property. I'm just assuming, because it looks very much like something that they would have entertained sometime after Sandy, or maybe prior to Sandy.
Okay.
But he's definitely in our jurisdiction now.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
and he needs,
no, I
Please help.
understand that, and I know from living in Hampton Bays and very familiar with this whole area, and us permitting the dock next door, and the amount of people that walk up and down that beach for public access and such. I believe our president can attest to that.
Yeah.
That I would like to recommend that we schedule a public hearing for this, so that some of the people in the neighborhood can be heard, because after placing this dock here and the Passover steps and some of the contentious issues that have been we've observed here, I think I would like to err on the side of caution that's just my recommendation.
Yeah,
so.
that's a good recommendation. So my suggestion would be based on the fact that he's getting beat up,
Yes.
quite badly. I would schedule a public hearing as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Is what I would do.
Yeah,
And then bring the discussion, because it's not looking to do. Obviously, we're not approving a bulkhead here, but you're approving a revegetation and an attenuation of the waves,
Yes.
utilizing the stones and bringing in sand to try and extend the beach and maintain as much beach as you can, but yet get protection of the property. You're trying to, but I would agree. I think that, but we should schedule that as quickly as possible.
Okay.
because after a year ago right now, actually, probably a little over a year ago, it started with a series of southeasterly winds and extreme high tides, some of which were almost the same height as what was Sandy, we experienced with Sandy.
Yeah.
So, and I've been down to that beach multiple times looking at it, and I see the erosion that's happening on the point there where it's almost necked off and going to be an island there. So realizing that there's a highly erosive area and coming up with a proper project that allows the homeowner to protect his property and also to ensure the public for beach access.
Sure.
I think we can work on it. We've done projects like this in the past.
Absolutely. If you look at the subject property you're discussing with the dock, look how chunked in this is.
Yeah.
He's getting really pushed back in there.
This is a bulkhead property. There's two bulkhead
Right
properties
here.
in a row. Yeah.
This whole area, under certain conditions, is just getting beaten up. But all right, so let's we'll schedule a public hearing at the earliest possible time. So you'll have to come and address that, and then we'll move
Have
forward.
you done previous public hearings where you need to post the property and?
I haven't now.
Okay.
I mean, I've done with other towns, just not for the trustees.
Okay.
We'll walk you through.
Okay.
So according to the calendar, we could put the notice of public hearing on the soonest for the next meeting on December 16th. And then we could schedule the actual public hearing for January 27th. That's our first regular meeting of the year.
January 27th.
It's a
That's
Monday.
about the fastest we can get this
Yeah,
done, because
that-
it's getting,
Yeah.
and you're trying to do things the right way, and I appreciate that. And Trustee Warner's correct. It's the area is.
What's the preparation that we need to do for the public hearing?
I believe it's just probably it's mailing and posting the
Yeah.
property. and then
Mailing,
we
posting the
discuss plan.
property, and then come on that day, make your presentation, and
We have a protocol that we will send you,
Great.
and if any questions, you can either contact me or
Okay.
James in the office.
Great.
do you
Joe,
have?
do you have any? I don't think he's in the room now.
He was having some technical difficulties, so I
You
think
have another.
he's-
So that's what we'll do with this one. That's fastest that we can get this thing moving
Great.
forward.
Thank you. And one other thing, he's gotten seaweed, a real buildup of seaweed over the past several months.
Yeah, this is,
Yeah,
I've been
guys.
there for
Yeah.
7-8 years.
It's shedding.
I've never seen a bloom of seaweed, it's just,
Because of the us working with the college and Cornell, we've had seagrass planted throughout the bay. The seagrass in eelgrass especially is like the rainforest down in the tropics. It's a very ecologically good product to have. And my father, when he used to be a person that had a nice garden, he would take that eelgrass and bury it in the at the end of the year, buried in his garden, and it would rot over the wintertime, and then he would have a nice salty, full of nutrient type of fertilizers or mulch.
So you're seeing that now because it's been coming back because
Yeah.
we've been working with everybody. So at the end of the year, this is what happens. So there's been more eelgrass in the bay. So now you're seeing it where you haven't seen it in the past. It's actually a good issue, and it does have a great value if you do choose to utilize it.
it accumulates like a couple of feet on
Yeah.
on the
Yes.
beach. Can I just pick it up and then take it
And
to?
is it advisable to that, or is it better, to leave it in place, for the erosion issue?
Well, there was a property that used to be along Shinnecock Hills, and they would gather all the seaweed and had a bluff, and they would take it and they would pack it against the bluff during the late fall, early winter,
Yep.
and then over the winter, Mother Nature would pull it back.
Gotcha.
Eventually, it'll just pull it, and it'll, once it dries out, it'll float around and it'll dissipate, and the
I would leave
nutrients will go back into the water.
I would leave it. you know,
Leave it.
I would leave it. I mean, I had an uncle that used it in his garden.
Yeah.
It was
My
phenomenal,
father did, yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I would leave it. There's nothing bad about it. It's a good sign.
Great.
It's a good sign. You have other things on.
Yeah, we have one more project.
So why don't you stay there?
All right,
So
sounds
we're gonna hold this. This one's going to public hearing.
Okay, great.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
You then have Michael G. Proyos
Yes.
at 14 Ocean View Drive.
So I was in the right place.
You were in the right place as we discussed
Hello,
earlier,
sir, how
sir.
you doing?
Fine, yes, sir.
Good.
So I have a photo sheet if you want to take a look at that. We have a very similar situation here. It's a eroding shoreline that
Here you go, Joe. Here's some pictures. I've been at the site more than several times. I was actually this morning. The tide was pretty high, so I couldn't get down the beach all the way to the property.
You know, it wasn't like that. That was 22 years ago.
No.
The last 3 years has been terrible,
Yes.
especially December. December's here.
Last December, I remember it very clearly. Suffered one storm a week for
I know.
multiple weeks.
On the so on the eastern side of him, and you can see in that photo there is a full-size bulkhead. So his property is the last or the first one that isn't protected with any kind of rock, stone, bulkhead, or anything. And then on the other side of him is a small stone seawall. So he's kind of sandwiched in between two hardened structures. And yeah, we're just proposing a rock revetment, some additional fill, some native plantings to hold the property
I
together.
have a little stuff. Yeah, I was on site. The property to the east of it has a very large, tall bulkhead, and your property is getting scarfed out. The property to the west of it, you said like all the rocks that are on the beach have basically been pushed up,
Yeah.
and you know it's a pretty low piece of property, and it is on Shinnecock Beach Road, which is a trustee roadway. The project that you're proposing is pretty much upland of where the pedestrian traffic will be.
Yes.
It's it's an area that with a rock revetment, a low rock revetment, would stabilize the uplands. You know, you're not going to protect all the property because of a large storm like Sandy or like last December storm.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to get over top, but it will slow the erosion process down, and hopefully will save your client's property from washing into the bay. I mean, I know that I see that there's a large vegetated lawn right up to where it's gotten eroded. So
Yes.
we need to talk about that area behind the rocks to be able to be
Yes.
some kind of deep rooted vegetation that would be salt tolerant.
Yeah, I believe we have 10 feet that we're intending to vegetate there.
Mhm.
So yeah, we're going to loop it around, to get returns, and then we're going to vegetate the 10 feet behind with beach grass plantings or other natives that deep rooted native plants that hold it together.
So the project is going to be completely in line with the bulkhead and the property just west of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's going to be. It won't project, further seaward than that bulkhead. next to
Yes.
it.
So it's not going to interfere with pass and repass
Nope.
along the beach. And do you plan on doing? I'm trying to read the whole narrative. I did it a while ago. As far as you're going to add sand to that to be able
Yep.
to
Yeah, so it will taper,
Yeah.
into the
clean sand to meet existing grade. So
Yes.
you're going to feather it into the existing grade.
exactly because it slopes down, from the upland where the house is. I think he's up pretty high, and then it slopes down to the water line.
I mean, if you or Joe want to take a look at it, Matt, on the way home, or take a ride down there, you can. I mean, it's. I've
You're
been,
welcome to me anytime.
yeah, like I said,
I'm
I've been there
retired
several
from
times.
there.
Several times, and it's, you know, it's an area, you know, it's along Shinnecock Hills where there are several, or more than several properties that don't have any protection. Unfortunately, either, you know, you have a bulkhead or a rock revetment, and then your property happens to be one where there is nothing there with the high tides and the southeasterly winds. It's really taking a terrible beating. So we're trying to, you know, protect and maintain a property and also allow for public pass and repass, which I think this project will accomplish.
Yeah, we're well in from the mean high water mark, and it shouldn't interfere with any access to the beach. Do the trustees have any comments on design or size of the rocks?
Um,
Are you gonna put like a walkway over it, so owners will be able to access the beach?
It shouldn't project further out like into the beach, so we're gonna be well behind like mean high water. So we should have it there, and then like whenever you're there, there's a significant beach that's present.
We'll start at mean high water and work landward.
no, it's going to start.
It's in
It's landward of the mean high water. It's on the Shinnecock Beach Road.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
on our roadway, but it's in line with currently in line with the proposed project is currently in line with the bulkhead that is just east of it.
exactly so.
And you know, pretty much it's a standard, you know, 2 to 3 ton stones, basically, you know, in order for the waves not to wash them around, which, you know, they shouldn't. And then you're gonna put it on a bed of crushed material. And are you gonna put a filter fabric down first?
Yes, yeah, we'll put filter fabric before the crush down.
Yep. And make sure that's completely covered so that it doesn't,
Not
you know,
exposed.
get up into the sunlight and break down.
Deteriorate.
We don't need
It works well if you
microplastics.
install it properly.
Yes, yes. And it's very similar to what First Coastal is doing on a project right down the beach from here.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a pile of stone there right now. as we
Okay.
speak. So, yeah, they've been hard at work doing a very comparable project.
It's
So,
ready to advance. is it?
yeah, I think it's ready to advance.
Okay.
Right.
The sand maintenance agreement?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, we do.
and that would be
Standard.
standard in the area.
So that's just to add additional sand in case of
Yes.
washout.
Yes,
So
That's a
So
standard.
that will
protocol.
be if during a storm it's washed out, we just have to replenish the beach with sand.
yes.
Yes.
Which
Put sand.
each and every project along Shinnecock Beach Road, we've initiated this so that we have in perpetuity the ability for public and pass and repass. Our attorney, Joe Lombardo, has crafted the last couple of them, so once he gets back here, you can have James in contacts and then talk to him to get the information from you, to get the agreement signed, and then, you know, back to you, and then you can file it with the county.
You also need sand.
Now, from your
Stamp
expertise,
plans
from your expertise, in other words, how often do you think you have to replenish the sand?
weekly.
A week?
Um,
only kidding.
I'm 85. I don't have the time.
You got plenty of time.
Keep on going.
well, you know, we've initiated this, and I'm probably gonna say that it's been, not many of the properties have had to do this, because during Sandy, a lot of material was pulled off of the bluffs that were completely unprotected, so there was quite a bit of sand in the environment that is naturally filtered. And then last December's storm was another extreme high tide and, you know, a lot of wave action, so there's some more sand there now. So, I mean, unless we get a prolonged period of no storms and, you know, northwesterly winds to cut the sand out, which we haven't had in many years, the likelihood, I'm not a, you know,
Yeah, I understand.
scientist, but
Yeah.
I really can't say for sure.
Yeah, but we have to have that safety gap in there because it is the Shinnecock Beach Road. We do have to maintain pass and repass. There has to be this, you know, this responsibility on the applicant because you are, you know, on our property. You're protecting yours. So we got to work together, but we also have to look out for the public's interest. So in the event we do have, like Secretary Treasurer was saying, something egregious that occurs, you know, you're going to have to replenish with some fresh sand because you're, you know, obviously, you know, hindering the natural, you know, replenishment that takes place when you're putting a hardened structure there, so hopefully,
What I'm afraid, right now, I'm at the end of my road, okay? Financially,
Right.
okay? The thing is that actually, I'm trying to make it as possible, to be able to afford it.
Right.
That's the thing.
well,
it's,
it goes on with the land, not just with you, but it goes with that property. So when that property transfers, that responsibility is gonna be there as well. So it may be another generation that has to do that.
And so what's gonna happen in the future? You gentlemen will decide when it's time to replenish?
Or a future board,
Or a future
or a
board.
future board could, if it's a future generation, be like, okay, this has been badly depleted and, we have to invoke these agreements and they need to put this in because the public has to have their pass and repass.
And having those, what do you call it? In front of it, on the sand, what do you call it?
Rock revetment?
Yeah, it will not stop it, in other words, it will help stopping it, but not.
It will slow the process down. Okay?
Yeah, it's a balance. You have to strike this balance of you protecting your property
Yes.
and then us protecting the public's right to pass and repass. So you strike a balance. Are you clear?
Thank you.
Okay, just making sure you're clear, that's all.
Huh?
Making sure you're clear.
Okay, I know, it's,
So we'll hold it until we get the sand maintenance agreement.
Okay.
And the stamp plans.
And the sand
Yes.
plans.
And
Right.
we're currently in with the DEC, so we don't have. to
All right, so
talk with them
we'll
yet.
hold it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I think they've been pretty agreeable to these projects along the stretch, so I think
Yeah.
it's a process that they've been unfortunately accustomed to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so the determination will be done by the trustees, is that when it has to be replenished?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you for coming
Thank you.
today.
Thank you.
All right, so that's on hold. We're gonna go back to Surfside Environmental for Robert Reichenbach Jr. at 15 Ramada. Hello, Daphne.
We all had a good holiday.
Yes.
Oh, this is, I don't know where this goes. This is you?
Okay. So, this is the second time we're back on this one. We had a discussion on this, I think it was back in October. Since then, I've also heard from, the Army Corps and the Department of State. They each had different comments, from your initial comments. So we took all that to heart and we revised the plan before you for a rock shoreline restoration for this property that's located between two bulkheaded properties. Seems to be a common theme here today.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
So we relocated the entire rock wall back by 3 feet to avoid that bog that was a concern at the last meeting. That's a little forward.
Seaward of that project.
Yes. So, so we will be avoiding that completely. We've also plotted the elevation points of the adjacent bulkheads. It's 4.7 feet on the northern side and just around 5 feet, a little bit over 5 feet on the southern side. So we are showing you that our the top of the sand will basically be at elevation 5, which will basically be around the same height of both of those in between. We replaced the beach grass we were proposing to plant with Spartina patens, which is more appropriate for the area, especially if it's going to be tidally influenced at times. So that should be sufficient. And lastly, we also discussed doing some backfill behind that because of the flooding issue my client is having in big storm events with water coming almost up to his structures, the swimming pool. So,
This picture here?
yes,
Yeah, see that.
so
See this?
we're showing filled to the 4-foot contour, which is about 38.5 cubic yards. You had asked for me to speak to Marty Shea with regard to the potential need for a conservation board permit just for the fill. I did have an in-person discussion with him. I also sent him an email that he told me he would respond to, and of course he has not prior to me coming here today. But he told me that he does not want to take jurisdiction over the fill and thought that your board should take jurisdiction for the full project. He said
Okay.
that the majority of that is within 10 feet of the structure, so he has no issue. I will make sure that he sends something in writing.
Well, if
Same
this
thing.
fill is placed here, is it going to be a continual lawn all the way down through that to the 10 foot? Or is your client going to, allow a non-veg, natural grasses to be planted
Right,
there?
right. What's gonna go into the fill?
Because, we're gonna elevate it, and the first thing you do when they elevate it, they put sod and, and
Right.
fertilizer and,
Well, a portion of that certainly would be, but as we're showing the entire amount of fill over the rock and beyond it would be Spartina.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be entirely lawn, it would be partially lawn, but not completely.
so you would have a rock revetment into a spartina,
China, and then lawn.
grass, and then eventually.
Well, the
you
rock's
would-
gonna be covered, so
Yeah,
the
and
whole
eventually
entire,
transition to a natural lawn.
to a natural lawn,
But
yes.
instead of a grade that pitches towards the bay, you're going to basically level it out.
Yes.
So to reduce the amount of
Yes.
runoff from the property.
Well, the concern before, when we did not have the fill proposed, was that we would have basically a mountain and then a valley.
That was my
That would-
concern,
So
because you
now
were
we're
gonna create a
trying
pond.
to, it'll be a foot lower essentially than the top of the sand that we're proposing. But the fill would be level with the actual top of the rocks, so it would, in theory, be a lot better than what's there right now. So if the sand erodes away, you replace the sand, as, you were just discussing on those other ones. We have sent this plan back to all the other agencies with jurisdiction, in hopes that everyone likes it.
So do we have a clear delineation of where this Spartina is gonna be on this plan?
Let's see, so,
Cause I don't recognize that on the sheet that I'm looking at right now. You see that, James?
Scott, you gotta,
It doesn't say how many feet it goes back from the stone.
So can we get a clear,
so yeah, so the
this is where
stone is
conscious
shown,
gonna start. You don't have it on the survey.
right, so I don't see like in here, right, in this plan, I don't see like proposed fill, right, 38.55 cubic yards, but I don't see anywhere showing here like where the demarcation line is gonna be between lawn, regular lawn, and where
Well, it
Spartina.
says end of proposed sand and cobble would be right here, that, behind that.
So
Yeah.
we're not going anywhere, we're not going any farther landward with any native vegetative plants?
That was my question.
so.
So that's my, yeah, so where would the demarcation line of native vegetative buffer species be?
So it looks
Do you see
to
that,
me-
James?
Yeah, on the overhead, it doesn't have
It doesn't.
it doesn't have the distance in it. It has, proposed fill is pretty large, it's up this lighter area, right?
Right,
And
so,
there's the end of proposed.
so it would be good to
sand
know
and
where,
cobble, and then there's the stone wall, and then on the side profile, it shows the stone wall with the sand, with the pavement that
Right,
goes
so-
into the fill, but not, it doesn't show a distance.
Right.
It's about 3 feet.
so is that enough? So we need to see, is that enough?
Actually, probably about 4. the rock is shown on the plan. Technically, the rock is about 7 feet wide, but that narrower area would be the limit of the fill, essentially. So this whole thing is this, but this part is where the rock starts and the rock kind of stops in the middle
Right.
there, but the fill would stop here for the Spartina. And then this fill,
So the fill, the lighter gray shaded fill, are you saying that that's gonna be all like regular lawn? This here,
Yes, that was my question.
that's gonna be all lawn, all this?
yeah,
So we're gonna allow fill and then we're gonna have all this lawn.
essentially it's reclaiming what's already lawn right now that has been eroded away.
Does our 10 feet start at the toe of the rocks? Seaward side?
Yeah, the seaward side, yeah. And then it goes landward.
So,
So what's the elevations of the neighbor's property to put that much fill in?
The elevation is 4.7 and 5 feet. That's why we put those,
Of the neighbors,
yes,
up by where all that fill's gone in?
it's higher.
So you
Still
got-
higher.
so you got 51 feet going from where the brick patio is to the seaward side of the tidal wetlands. Is that how I'm reading this?
I believe so.
So
Yes.
51 feet, and of that 51 feet, you're given how much of native vegetation of that 51 feet?
Of that 51
Yes.
feet, it's about 4 feet.
Can you go a little more than that?
Well, this is why we're here.
Yes.
Because we talked about the fill, so we're showing the fill.
Right.
If we want to put more vegetation, we can
I think
probably.
I
accommodate
mean
that. That's the, so that 4 feet is this
I get
other
it.
side of
I
the slope.
just
I'd like to see 10 feet back from the terminus
I-
of the
I
rocks
think-
on the landward side.
I think it'd be a better project in general if you had, more. I don't want to. I get it. I want to find a balance here.
Sure.
I just think it's,
I'm seeing how we're taking jurisdiction of this fill, right? If Marty's not taking it.
Yeah.
well, yeah. So I think you need to find a little bit better of a balance on that 51 feet than 4 feet. I think that's like
It's a small piece of the pie.
that's
Well, it would essentially be 10 feet of plantings partially over the rock.
yeah. But the rock, I think that you get a better project if you can get a little bit further landward with your natives.
Okay.
I agree. It would create a bigger area to wick up any nutrients because it looks like this lawn goes right to the house. So I mean, it's a substantial amount of fertilization that I'm assuming goes on this property.
There's no fertilization.
Well,
If you see those photos, there's.
Yeah,
I know, but then the next people that buy it, they call,
Yeah, but once you elevate it, you're gonna have the ability to put a green lawn there and fertilize it and basically, change the dynamics of what it's currently there.
I just
Right.
think you could do better out of the 51.
Okay, so it's just so you're on the same page. This lawn that we're talking about is still going to be lower than the properties on either side because it's going to be a half a foot on the north and a full foot
Lower than the
south.
adjoining properties. Well, I
Yes.
think all the more reason why you have natives for a
So-
great distance at a lower elevation.
That-
You agree?
I'm not disagreeing.
Right, you agree.
I'm just
So-
saying we're
so-
piecemealing everyone's comments. So
Right. So
sure,
can you get
we
further?
can
I
do
mean, you're still not where you need to be with the other regulatory authorities, right? We've got their comments and our comments and these people's comments.
Yeah, you guys came back fast. which
We
is
came back
great.
fast. So I
Thank
think,
you.
okay, but I think that out of the 51, I think we can do a better job than 4.
Sure. So, do we make that 10? Do we make it? I mean, so there's a fence there right now. My client has a split rail fence with wire, and he's got buckets of concrete there to try and do something to stop this. So, going landward of that fence by a couple of feet is probably gonna be fine. His concern is it's now December and he wants to see something approved so he can get something in place. so
Right,
his
but he's gotta deal with the other regulatory
structures are not
authorities too, you know?
in peril.
Right, I get it. Now, and again, like to your point as well, you know, con board's like, you know, no, let the trustees deal with that, right? So con board would never allow anything seaward, right, of a demarcation line, of a buffer that they agree to. Not a post and rail fence, certainly, right?
No, I don't know that the fence 100% needs to stay.
Right,
However, he's probably utilizing that as a pool enclosure because of the accessibility from the other properties. So could that be relocated effectively?
I think that should
to
be-
the landward edge of
yeah.
wherever you want plantings?
yeah,
Sure.
I think that would make the most sense, because that would also be kinda, you know, consistent with what, you know, the other board would approve, and there's, you know, good rationale for that as well. So I think that should be, landward of whatever it is that we decide is gonna be native vegetation.
Yes.
Agreed?
Yes.
So,
You moved the, rocks back, you said,
By 3 feet.
and how far is it from mean high water now? Landward.
It's landward of mean high water by 4 feet. But it's within that little fringe of Spartina that's there right now. That would effectively be replaced with more Spartina.
I'd like to get a good project here, you know, and I think you can.
So the entire structure right now with the plantings is 10 feet. Do you want it to 15 feet? And then you're looking at,
I wanna increase that 4.
additional. Right, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the entire width of this structure is 10 feet, including those plantings. So.
I'd love to get beyond that and take that 4 and make it a 10, you know, I think would be reasonable, and then take your structures, you know, your post and rail wire fence and whatnot, and move it all landward, and maintain some form of consistency with what, you know, environment would look for,
Yeah, a natural buffer.
a natural buffer.
I've been seeing over in West Hampton with these, you know, rock cores covered in sand, a lot of times a storm comes and washes the sand away, you just have the rocks left. So now we've only got 4 feet of planted buffer, because we assumed that we were
Sure.
gonna have those other 7.
Right.
You know, that's kind of where I'm thinking. I'd like to have 10 feet back from the rocks, so you, even if you lose all that sand on the rocks,
Well,
you still got 10
it's a
feet buffer.
sacrificial sand.
Right.
That's what I call it.
Right.
You know, it looks nice when you first do a project, and the pictures.
I mean, the hopes are that the native vegetation would, you know, take hold and hold this thing in, and
Yeah, that's-
but at the end of the day, you know, it's not always working out. So I think, you know, out of the 50, you know, you got 51. 4 is too light, you know.
Well, so if you look at where the bulkheads are on either side, those people have lawn up to those
And they
edges
shouldn't.
of the bulkhead.
They shouldn't.
And they don't. So
Yeah, they shouldn't.
it's almost like, sure, my guy's gotta plant this, but those people got to redo their bulkheads and they have lawn right now.
They
so-
shouldn't. Yeah, they shouldn't though. They're people are supposed to respect the buffers that are there, and you're aware that, you know, when you get overtopped on your bulkhead, you do a lot better if you got a native vegetation there
Sure.
versus nothing. And, you know, you're only hurting your own project. In this instance, it's a different scenario. You're already going to 4. You got 51 feet there, and you got a swimming pool. So it just makes a better project. I don't think giving up another 6 out of the 51, you know what I mean? I don't think
No,
it's gonna,
I think that is.
so I don't think it's
totally fine.
unreasonable, yeah.
No, I don't think so either. So we can certainly show an additional 6 feet of plantings with the fence being relocated to that landward limit.
Yep.
I don't see that as a deal breaker, so to speak.
James, you say?
Just you.
Well, it looks like that would be an appropriate.
Keep that in mind.
What's that?
It's 4 feet above mean high water.
Edward,
I think that would be a good way to go.
let's see what the other regulatory authorities say, but I think that's what we need to do.
Even the sand maintenance agreement as well.
Romana Drive, where's Lombardo? Yeah?
He's not on there. I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, this is very similar to Sun Valley in Shinnecock Bay.
Yes.
Where Chip wanted the sand, the plantings behind the rocks, because we realized first southeaster it's gonna get overtopped and washed out, so,
So yes, the answer is yes, James.
yes. We'll craft it similar to like we did for, I think it was
I don't think,
Suncourt, yeah, Suncourt, yes.
I don't think it's unreasonable, do you, Daphne?
A sand maintenance agreement?
Yeah.
That basically just says that anytime the rocks are exposed, that they're supposed to.
Well, we took that one, we crafted in a way that the rocks would get exposed, but from the top of the rocks, seaward, landward, would be where the maintenance of the sand would be in the plantings.
Oh, okay.
So that would be assuring that we have a natural buffer maintained there. We understand that anything seaward of that's gonna get washed over, and I mean, I'm looking at the pictures, it was like, even putting that there, you're still gonna have a foot of water above it, so. Yeah, so why don't we, have, Joe send that over to you
Okay.
when he gets back here.
I'm with you guys. I hear you, I see you.
Oh, they have him muted?
He's trying to speak?
Yeah, I thought I was unmuted.
You want,
He's trying to speak.
Yep.
Huh?
I'm unmuted. I don't know why you can't
Yeah, we can hear you now, Joe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I haven't done anything different. I've been saying I'm unmuted, I'm unmuted. Yeah, I can certainly do the sand agreement when I get back, no problem.
okay. Did you hear that?
He could do a sand agreement. All right, so
Thank you, Joe.
I don't think it's that tough.
Okay, so.
You still gotta deal with your other regulatory authorities, right?
Yes, but I don't know that their concern would be those additional plantings. I think based on the comments I've received, that just showing what we're showing is good for them.
Okay,
So I'm not really concerned about that.
okay, so then this is good.
So I'm gonna go forward with revising the plan and, seeing about getting it stamped so we can get something approved for these guys as soon as possible.
Sounds like you're on your way.
Okay.
Is there everything else today? No.
That's it.
All right, so you've done good.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Enjoy.
You too. All right, so we have,
Holding that for until the
Yes.
agreement and the plans.
Yes.
we have Enviro permits. Mary E. Held, Revocable Trust, 41 Ram Pasture. And there's nobody here representing that, right? No, this one got held last time, right?
There's some questions on it.
Yeah, so I think that,
Why don't we hold it and see if Clay comes at the end of the meeting?
yeah, put it on hold. See if Clay comes. We did yours. We got Joe McLaughlin's. We've got InterScience.
44.
484 First Neck Lane. Mr. Walker.
Between the last time that I met with you guys and changed the plans, I went to see the village. The village advised handrail system similar to what's at the boardwalk at the top of Lake Agawam would be acceptable. So I drew up plans. Joe? There you go. I saw Joe on the street and told him I'd come to see you. These plans have not been submitted, so I'll submit them after the meeting, but I did make 4 copies for the trustees. Now, at the top of Lake Agawam, there's a boardwalk that I designed and got permits for. It has a simple wire system to keep people from falling into Lake Agawam. There's a lot of kids. This family has their own kids. They don't want the kids to fall into Lake Agawam, so we're proposing a vinyl wire with a single 2x6 on the top, tropical hardwood. That's it. I have to go in front of the village on the 10th. So we are done with the design, unless the board of trustees have a concern. But that's wire 3 inches on center. Keep the kids from falling in.
I have no problem with it.
It's vinyl clad wire.
It's not on the Atlantic Ocean, so it's not gonna get washed into the surf, so.
We could make the wire continuous if Chip Marin wanted. I remember that comment.
It may be overkill for this locality.
We are not expecting the ocean to wipe out this stuff.
We got bigger problems than this, I think.
Well, I have seen the ocean fill the rain garden at the town trustee property.
Yes, so I
think that happened twice since it got installed. So
destroyed Gloria, or Sandy, and what was the other one before Sandy?
Irene.
No, it's too much sand in my rain garden.
Irene, yeah, they washed, yeah,
But
Sandy's got destroyed.
that's it.
I have no problem with it.
Yeah, okay.
We're good?
This keeps the kids safe.
Keep the kids safe, for crying out loud.
And out of the green ponds.
Exactly.
They're gonna fix
Nope.
all that, Ed. That's what
Well,
they said.
We're
new
working
plans
on it.
stamped? You got stamp plans?
Not until I meet with the village.
Yeah.
Okay,
Immediately.
so hold it for stamp plans. Advance it, yeah. Advance it, yeah, stamp plan review, yeah.
These that you handed us, are you gonna give us,
I'm gonna submit it the regular way.
all right, regular way, so,
So we don't need this. Do we need
so
this?
we don't need this.
All right, so here,
Yeah.
this is,
This shouldn't be in the package, we gotta,
she can accept those, yeah. Why don't you give them to Jess?
I got a
Yeah,
cover
yeah,
letter.
give them,
yeah, give them to Jess and she can stamp them in a minute.
let's,
I know the rub.
thank you.
What do you need? You need 2, right?
Yes.
You got,
I have one from
you have N Consultants,
Yeah.
Harvey Rosen, 24 Landing Lane in Shinnecock Hills. What do you say? You hold it, Joseph.
Yeah, I haven't seen it right here, so then Billy is that.
First Coastal, Mr. Billy Mack. (142) Tower Point LLC. How are you?
Everybody, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Doing
good?
I didn't eat enough. I should have ate more.
I ate way too much, man. It's still annoying.
I think I could have, you know.
Well, it depends on what you had. Too much turkey.
And near
yeah.
Christmas.
So there you go. Save. I'm gonna have leftovers for Christmas, I think. This is a. We've talked about this a couple times. This is one we went back to Marty to get permission to relocate the previously approved dock by him into the middle of the property, as opposed to on the 15 feet away.
Okay.
So everything's compliant. It's Blue Book.
So
And
where
we're
are we
good
now?
Depth.
It got moved to the center?
Got moved to the center.
Oh, good.
It's a good
That's
location.
better.
Yeah, I like it better too.
It's better.
Yeah, we this is the back and forth.
It's
with water,
better.
We got to figure it out. So
It's
You have
better.
to- You have a little bit deeper water there, so.
Yeah,
It's better for everything.
I like it.
That's the way to do it.
You're all 10 feet on that floating dock, correct, from the property line?
Well, yeah, we're definitely farther than 10 feet.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, a lot farther.
You're in the center,
Yeah, it's right in the center.
right in the center.
So we'll get you stamp plans and you guys tell me what to do.
That's all you have today,
That's all I got. Hanging out with you guys.
huh? Joseph,
That's you. Yeah.
there you go.
Cool. Thank you very much.
We good, James?
Yep.
He's free to go?
Thank you.
Carry on.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Joe.
All right. Trustee Parsons.
So Harvey Rose and 24 Landing Lane, that's not Shinnecock Hills, it's western Shinnecock Bay. Just FYI.
It's listed here as,
It's not Shinnecock Hills, it's western Shinnecock Bay. What's that?
Is that you or me?
No, it's Scott's, mine is Scott's area.
Why-
Yeah,
well,
yeah, I know, why is it
wait,
on yours?
something's not right here.
Yeah.
Where is this Harvey Rosen? Where's that location? James, can you pull that up?
Landing Lane, it's in,
That's in East Quogue,
no,
but
it's western Shinnecock. Rampisher Point.
But there's a landing lane also in East Quogue.
Yeah. There's two.
Where is that one? Is
This
it
one's
mine?
on
Whose
Old
is
Fort
that?
Pond.
Oh, okay. Then
It's
it
a
is
different
Joe's.
landing.
Oh, it's a different landing.
It's a
Sorry.
different landing.
All right, yeah.
Joseph, you're trying to pass that off on
That's
me.
by Reba Dam.
Huh? You trying to add to my work schedule?
No. Sorry, Joe.
All right, so that's still on hold. Harvey's on hold. Mr. Stevens here. Where's Chuck Bowman? How are you?
I don't know, Chuck's, he's under the weather a lot.
Okay.
Just making sure there's no latest thing in the file. Yeah, this should be Staples.
You wanna try this one? It's not Staples.
Well, I have this one
Where are we at with this, James?
here. Yep, this is it.
He made the changes from the last,
You did.
discussion,
Dark skies.
ladder at the.
Ladder.
Ladder on the float.
Dock.
Yeah.
So,
Is he compliant with everything we asked for?
And 2 gates. You asked for a gate, and there's the vinyl fence stops at the buffer,
Okay.
and there's the existing chain link fence that's always been there, 4 foot high, and we are gonna put a gate on each side.
So you did everything that you were
No, we're
requesting?
halfway through.
You're halfway through.
Yeah, but we put it on the plan, so you have it.
Okay.
You can come out and inspect it within 2 weeks if you want.
Okay.
It'll be done.
those plans stamped?
This one's here?
I see a stamp here.
It's a surveyor.
Survey stamp, but
Yes.
you good? Okay.
So we're good?
I think you're good. I think you've done what you were requested to do, right?
We got it on resolution this afternoon too.
Good. So we're good. Okay.
That'd be great.
Yep.
I have to
Thank you.
see if it before the end of the year.
Yeah, no, he did everything that we requested, so that's what I thought.
And I'll
So,
finish up the work. It's not much left.
Okay.
Okay?
well, that's fine.
Should I call Matt when I'm all set?
Well, you gotta send in your completion when you're all.
What did,
He'll receive, I don't know what the, are there any fees for the,
I paid the fees.
You paid the fees?
there's no dimensional fees for the ladder, there's no dimensional fees for the,
Look on the sheet. I don't think so, right?
The light? No.
the lights.
No,
so
I don't think so.
You'll receive it from Charlotte in a week or so, the permit,
Okay.
Shoot.
and then you'll have to submit the completion.
Submit.
Once-
All right, yeah, that's the reason I.
Yeah, submit the
I thought I was
completion that
waiting
comes
for-
with the paperwork, and then that'll trigger
Inspection.
the inspection.
Okay, great.
Okay?
Okay.
We'll send the inspector out.
Great. Appreciate it.
That's what you do.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care, Scott.
Take care now. All right. And then you've got DKR Shores for Andrew Perrell, 19 C Tuck Lane. I see Gina is here. I see Joe's back. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Been better.
You've been better.
Now you're getting old when someone has to help you put your socks on.
Oh. Or just don't wear socks.
I know, right? Okay. I'm just gonna get back on the heating pad.
You look like you're a little stiff there, Gina.
Yeah, I have 2 herniations.
Oh.
In my lower back, so sitting is very
Sorry to
uncomfortable
hear
right
that. Sorry to hear this.
now. Okay.
What you got?
I was here last time. We discussed adding the return in the middle of the property, 30 feet long. I think that would be appropriate if the board's okay with it.
And that was gonna be
Yes.
right around here, going this direction, right?
Yeah. Right.
To separate.
Because they're,
To
yeah, 'cause
separate
the
sort
shell
of the-
section and the
Right,
houses
to
section.
separate the wetlands
From
part.
Matt, I know you've been all over this
the
thing, right?
upland,
Yeah.
and contain a lot of that sand from, spilling into the cove and so on and so forth.
What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I like the idea of separating out the lower side and
Yeah.
higher side, and obviously you need a return to do that.
Right, right.
It's gonna eventually, lead to a much more natural environment down there and regrow the
Right.
plants and.
Well, that's what the goal was, is to sort of recreate what was there before. So, and it'll eventually, sort of be graded and then have some high marsh submitted and then some low. That was the point.
Right.
So something that would occur naturally.
I like it.
The cover sheet.
I have to, I was just gonna say that. I have to give you a new cover for the 30-foot. I owe you money for the 30-foot,
Okay.
et cetera.
So we've already got all planting scheduled. for
Yeah,
whole
all the
section.
plantings. So there's a separate planting plan in there as well that was already approved by the DEC.
Good.
We just need the state plans as well.
Okay, no problem. That'll just take a day or so to get.
Feel
you.
better.
Thank you. You bet.
Okay.
So just advanced plans and approach.
Then we have general permit applications for determinations, final stamp plan review. We have,
Scott, I'm sorry. They wanted to come back up for a
you,
moment if that was okay.
you wanna come back?
Yes,
You didn't get enough?
Not yet.
All right. Another bite at the apple over here, huh?
Which one is this?
14 Ocean View?
Mr. Proyas,
Yes.
Michael G. Proyas.
Wanted to discuss with the trustees. We have a covenant added in between mean high water and 40 feet back. And we're just wondering what the process would be, if trustees have any guidance with handling that covenant from the Environment Division. Or do trustees handle shoreline structures no matter what?
We handle shoreline structures, but that covenant that would be on the Shinnecock Beach Road.
Our
which is
property.
Our property.
So it's a covenant over your property.
It's on our property.
So you have the authority to
Yes.
approve and.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're not hindered, what do you,
Just the covenant mentions.
Do you have a copy of the plan?
Who's covenant
I-
is it, by the way?
Environment Division, so let council look at this covenant, and let's make sure we are working
Yeah.
complementary to your covenant, but it's our property, so let's,
Thank you.
Because normally covenants that would be on the properties would be landward of the Shinnecock Beach Road.
not on our
Okay.
property.
Because of a 50-foot wide roadway.
Okay.
So somebody used our property for the purposes of their relief, it sounds like,
Yeah, I think it was from 2002, the covenant.
so,
So you've had the road for longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
yes.
Well, it looks like it's a con-board covenant governing an area that's 40 feet landward from mean high water. So I should probably read this whole thing, so you know.
Yes,
Yeah.
In the con-board's territory, 'cause this may very well govern.
but we own the
But
property.
they would have a covenant over our property.
Well, they've got a covenant over the area that they believe is their jurisdiction.
But we
which
own
is
it.
Wetlands 40 feet up, though. That's what, I'm just saying, that's what this
Yeah.
covenant says. So
All right,
let
you
me-
do your research.
You do your
read it.
research, so
Yes.
this is on hold now.
Probably a clean way to
So
take
the
care of
survey
it.
shows, where it was in 2002, like where mean high water was, and then the 40 feet.
Okay.
And then,
I'll look at that too.
Non-disturbance,
And I'll get you my info if
non-fertilization.
you want. You can keep
Yeah,
this and you
perfect.
can
So it's
Yeah,
send
located
me.
within Shinnecock Beach
You
Road.
should,
Yeah, it
you
is.
should have the surveyor show Shinnecock Beach Road,
Okay.
okay.
the actual beach road, which is 50 feet from
Yeah.
high water.
And that would
Yes.
show the revetment fully
You,
on.
you show it as Shinnecock Beach, but it should say Shinnecock Beach Road, and it should have the 50 feet
Mark.
mark on it. The surveyor should be able to put that on there.
Okay.
I don't know if this surveyor's apprised of that, but.
Yeah, because the high water as of February 2002 is substantially seaward of where it is in 2024 June. So
Yeah, it's moved.
it's moved.
Of course.
All right, so yeah, we'll let
Okay.
our attorney, the town attorney, look at it.
Great.
Give you a determination.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Have a great day.
Yeah. Great, thanks.
All right. so now let's move forward. General permit application for determination, final stamp plan review. No Hotel Investors LLC for Secretary Treasurer Warner, 16 Penny Lane, Hampton Bays.
We went through this at a few work sessions, some recommendations from our board. I believe the consultant came back with what we had asked for.
Is it on the plans? And they pushed it back, they did the dredging, pushed the dock back to the bulkhead?
Yeah, we reviewed that, it's just the stamp, we just need the stamp, so.
Okay,
So it's all there, so we can move it ahead.
move it ahead.
Thank you, James.
Thank you. So we have a couple of waterfowl hunting location permit applications for determination. I think is Shakira zooming in?
She's joining via Zoom, yeah. Andrew and Kevin, if you could let Shakira in on Zoom, please.
Joe looks very relaxed,
You should be.
doesn't he?
Jet lag.
Jet lag. Hey, it agrees with you, Joe. I mean,
Yeah, I don't look as bad as I usually do, that's right.
yeah, well, it's because you're farther away. With these glasses, you look a lot better, you know. Hi, Shakira. Good morning.
Raise her up a little bit.
Can you turn it up, Andrew and Kevin? Can't hear her.
Mr. Powers, we need more power. Hello, Shakira. Say something. Test 1, 2.
She got muted.
Are you muted?
No, it looks like it's show up and muted her.
Can you hold up a whiteboard or something? Can you? No? Send up a signal? No? Nope.
Maybe
Hi.
take
You can hear us, right?
You got me?
maybe take the headphones out because it might be confusing the audio. I don't know.
Joe was awful quiet.
Okay, blink 3 times for yes.
Got a Morse code thing?
All right, hang tight.
Okay,
Pretty low coming out of here as well.
We can
Yeah.
hear Joe. We can't hear Shakira.
We can barely hear Joe.
we could barely hear Joe.
Okay. Bear with me.
And we can't hear Shakira.
If I call her on the phone, she might talk through my speakerphone.
Well, they got to pick it up for the.
For the
we gotta-
meeting.
it's got to be official, you know.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you now.
Hello.
Oh, okay.
Hello there.
How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
So
Good.
you, Shakira, have been working on permit number 210 for David Aquino. It's a late renewal application with a letter of explanation.
Yes. Let me get his letter. He said, I would like to continue to hold my permit on my blind number 210. I misread the date for renewal.
Okay, Joseph, what do you think?
Not a big deal. What do you guys?
Well, it's a big deal, but it happens, you know.
Yeah, it happens. It happens again. That's one thing, but you know.
Well,
Is this a
Let's have a look
first
first.
offense? Is he usually on time here? What's
This is his first time
Okay.
missing the renewal date. I looked through his file here.
okay, so
Let him have it.
let him have it. Just make a notation that he's got
Yeah.
a courtesy this time, okay?
Okay.
And then Trustee Parsons, you have permit number 19, Russell Scaris. It's an addition of a co-permittee.
Yes, he wants to add on Peter Mackenzie. He doesn't have any other spots, and that would take him off of the wait list.
Okay, take him off.
I'm good with that.
Okay, is there anything else?
No, that's all.
That was too easy today, Shakira.
Streamline.
All right. If there's not anything else that the trustees need to discuss, I think that we need to go into executive session for the purposes of discussing.
We're holding those two that we skipped over.
Yeah, we're gonna hold them because obviously there's no one here to represent or answer the questions for the trustees, so we have no choice but to hold a couple of these. Right? Are we in agreement with that?
Yep, I agree.
Okay. So if no one has anything to add to this discussion, I'll make a motion to adjourn and go into executive session.
Second.
Seconded by trustee McLaughlin, all in favor?
All right.
Okay. Enjoy the rest of your morning.